Hello and welcome to the Heresy Lodge. I am your host, Dylan Cooper, with a constant host over here.
Gavin Franklin.
And guys, we're here this week to review part two of part one of the End of the
Three.
Death Volume 1.
Subsection C.
Yes, verse A.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're pretty much splitting this book into three parts. We're going to talk about part two this time.
Yeah. And if you're sitting there frustrated because you feel like the podcast is going nowhere and talking about the same things, we agree.
I have a question though. Did you read the books? Because if you did, you would understand that we're actually just doing the same thing the authors did.
Exactly. That's well, I am equally frustrated that it's going nowhere and doing nothing. That's what we have to talk about is nowhere and nothing. And also some weird stuff that Dan does for
And the
some
amount
reason.
of time I've wasted in my life. Before we get into that, though, as always, hit us up on Discord, pinned to our Twitter at Heresy Lodge, email it's at theheresylodge@gmail.com. Hit us up on YouTube at the Heresy Lodge. Check out merch. It's holiday season and it's coming up quick. You better buy yourself, your significant other, your family. They all want merch from the Heresy Lodge.
Your grandmother wants the beer mug.
Damn right she does. And she might even want the sweatshirt because she's fucking cold. All right. Old people are cold, guys. Get them sweatshirts.
They're comfy. They're comfy sweatshirts. They're actually
They
very
are. Be careful when you dry them.
nice. You can't dry them. You can't look at them funny. Keep them super pristine, real high quality stuff.
Goddamn right. Um, yeah, what are you drinking? I know you're an alchemist now. You can make cocktails with your eyes closed.
Dude, I am definitely a better bartender than our friend Connor.
Well, that's because he was a bar back.
Yes, that's true. The bar is low, but I have started to get decent at making drinks. This one is called the bow and arrow.
I like that you bought a house and you're like, you know what I need to do now that I have a house? I didn't know how to make cocktails.
Well, I'm gonna be putting in a bar, so I feel like I need to know how to make cocktails. And I've been
What do you need? You
going,
need to invite people over and you wear like a little tux and sit behind your bar, just there and mixing drinks when everyone comes in. Make a good
that's my
little bitch.
that's my plan. I plan to buy the bar to make other people drinks, which
Goddamn
is
right.
miserable when you think about it, because why build the bar? There's no benefit to me whatsoever.
That's welcome to owning a house. It's not for your pleasure.
It's really not. So this is a mixture of, it's actually my take on the bow and arrow because you never have every single ingredient that they tell you you need for the drink. So there's bourbon. They wanted mezcal and pineapple juice. So I ended up doing just mango tequila because that's the only tequila we have. And it tastes pretty good. And then you got a little bit of
Mango
lime in there.
tequila.
Mango tequila. Who would have thought? I had no idea we had it. It was the only tequila we had, which I thought was strange.
That is strange.
We've got an absorb. We've spent absurd amounts on various different liquors over the past
Billions.
billions of dollars, and we don't have any tequila. We've got three different types of bourbons, two different types of scotches, no tequila except for mango tequila. And the ingredients was like, hey, take a stick of cinnamon and boil
Shove it
it,
up your ass.
shove it up your ass, and then boil it in water
And
for
then swirl your drink with it.
for a couple
All in
days,
your ass.
and then pour the water into. Can you stop talking about shoving shit up your ass
And
for a second?
then you pour it into your ass through the straw or the cinnamon
I'm
stick.
trying to describe what I'm drinking.
I'm trying to help exemplify how wonderful you are at making drinks.
They wanted me to put the cinnamon stick.
Where do they want you to put it, Gavin?
Sir, where did they want you to put the show me
Show
on the
me on the
doll?
doll.
They wanted me to put it in some water and boil it for like 2 days, or not boil it, but like let it sit there for 2 days and then pour the water into the drink. And I'm like, I'm just gonna put fucking like cinnamon syrup in there, like
Guys,
cinnamon.
I started recording 30 seconds ago. I don't have time for this.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I'm not gonna fucking make a weird thing. So there's a cinnamon stick in there somewhere. There is simple sugar. It's fucking
So
good. Simple syrup, yeah. Yeah. It is
nice.
syrupified. How about you?
No,
What
how
pet
like last week
drink
I
do you
won this
have?
thing with like how great marriage is and like they like know the shit that you want.
Like this week, she fucked up so much.
No, this week she was back to her normal self. All right, she comes back and she's like, "You need to quit being a little bitch and try different things. You keep trying the same sort of beers." So what does she fucking get me? She gets me.
Order
Oh no, she gets me a cookies exchange milk stout
moment
from
of silence.
Great Lakes.
It's a moment of silence for you, sir.
It's honestly not terrible, but it's the concept.
You need to branch out. You should try to shove more cinnamon sticks up your ass.
You shove them up your ass, and then you make sure there's still that little hole in the stick so you can pour the drink through it.
Oh my gosh. We're very fancy with the way we choose to drink our drinks.
Yes,
It's
we
the
are.
it's the new wave. It's the new way of doing things. New generation.
Yep, everything goes straight through the ass. That's what Fulgrim did.
The Emperor's Children, Slanesh in general, has had a lot of influence on the way we
The
drink.
demon just slithered right up there.
Jesus Christ.
So,
So,
Gavin, last week, what did we end on as far as the story? The, oh, we ended with the Emperor decided he was going to go up. We
yes.
are another third of the way through the book, and that's finally happened.
Yeah.
And
They're
I'm asking myself, there are still over 2 books left.
they're on the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah. And we have 2 books left in the last third of this still.
So,
What the
yes,
fuck is the next book about?
I'm very
And then the
confused.
book after that.
If I had to guess, I would assume that we like basically don't get any Sanguinius point of view for the rest of this book. And the second book is like, oh, let's do Sanguinius now. I may have peered ahead into some chapters, just like the chapter titles.
Yeah.
One of the chapter titles, Dylan. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
It's titled Dorn in the Desert.
You know, Raptor asked me if I've gotten to the desert part yet. And I said I haven't. I'm assuming that's going to be the part he's talking about.
I'm really hoping we don't get a bunch of writing of Dorn just walking through a fucking desert.
God
Man,
damn, that's exactly what's going to happen.
that would be so fucking rough. Because, like, we already had Shaban walking through a desert and Ol walking through a desert. We don't need Dorn walking through a
We haven't
desert.
got a Primarch walking through a desert yet. We really need that POV.
What a very interesting point of view. Yeah, that really strengthens the book and what it brings to the table.
Yeah, so just a quick recap. Um, Emperor showed Malcador a vision of the vengeful spirits' shields going down, and they decided instead of shooting out of the sky, I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna punch him in the dick.
Yeah,
And
I
then we
imagine.
find out that in the second part, the White Scars are shooting the ship, which is like that makes fucking sense. And like it ain't hitting. Just like, wait a second, what the fuck? What do you mean they're just not hitting? They're like, I don't know. We're shooting, and it just ain't blowing up.
What's incredibly frustrating is like there's not a single person that's like common sense like focused in this book anymore. Everyone becomes an idiot immediately.
Yeah.
at the beginning of this book. So you would think like I'm really wanting like one character, and I've made this analogy before, but to be like Seth Green and Austin Powers.
Oh yeah.
It was like, let's just go in and fucking shoot him.
Yeah.
Like, why do we gotta always come up with these elaborate traps and plans? I got a gun in my room right now. I'll go in, go pop, pop, and they're done. Like that's it. Put them in
The
the
White Scars were trying, apparently.
exactly. I was really hoping Shaban was gonna be like, but it's right there.
Guys, I've shot it like 10 times. And it's absorbing the blow.
Yeah, that's what's the frustrating part
That's
is it's like,
the ship has plot armor now. The fucking
yeah,
ship.
it's not even that it's absorbing the blow. They're just like, yeah, we were shooting it, but like the we're not hitting it is what
What
they're
the fuck
saying.
does that mean?
I don't know. Aim better.
There's no shields. It's defenseless, apparently. There's like nothing around it. Like, it's just maybe they're just like out of range by like a foot. I don't know.
Just kind of push it forward a little bit.
Someone go push it.
It is. It gets incredibly frustrating that everyone gets plot armor, and what the authors do is just that means that everyone can make stupid decisions and not die. Because
Yeah.
it makes reading so boring. As I'm like, why is the Emperor going up to the vengeful? Why? Why? There's no why.
Yeah, there's zero reason for him to go. You're telling me
No.
there's a defenseless ship up there? You blow that fucking thing out of the sky and say, good work, team.
There, even if you, somebody could easily come in and argue, oh, hey, like, if he kills Horus, then it's over. No, it's not. No, it's not. The entire Earth is overran with demons. All of the Primarchs are dead, but their Astartes are still there. Their Space Marines are still fighting from their legions. Even the ones that like just straight up disappeared, like the Alpha Legion. Like we're still getting point of views of Night Lords who there were like 15 of them when the fucking thing began. And
Yeah,
like this concept that you kill Horus and it all falls. Horus has been sitting in a chair this whole time. Like if
through
the
nothing.
commanders, he hasn't even given any orders. The only order he's ever given this entire time is like Mercury Wall. That's all he said.
And turn off the shields.
Turn off the shields. This is the only decision this commander has made. If the chain of command of the traitors is so feeble that if that dude dies, they're fucked. That makes no sense to me. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it even gets it just gets worse. So here they make this decision. They're gonna go up. And Makador is the one that gets to sit on the chair and die. We have like this whole POV. He sends out a message to all of his agents. He's like, yo, do these things. And then he sits on the chair. And then they just instantly teleport up. And then you get a line soldier like, I got a message. And it says, Terra, I am 9 hours out.
9 hours.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, I
You're
almost
telling me
cried. I almost cried when I saw it was 9 hours.
the Emperor, in all his fucking glory, right, cannot, he can have a conversation with Horus in space just fine. In the past, he was having conversations with Magnus all the way on Prospero, but
In
he
his
couldn't get
mind.
a glimpse from 9 hours out that Gilliman and a giant fucking army is almost there. And he's like, no, 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 the shields are down. Like, we should just go. You can see the fucking future. That's like your thing, too. And you didn't see, you just like stopped and didn't think, like, what happens in 10 hours? Oh shit,
You
we
can,
won. What the fuck?
yeah, you can really dissect it from all these angles, all of them, and it makes no sense. Like strategically, it makes no sense because there's no value in killing Horus because Horus doesn't really provide any value, right? But even like from the point of view of like the Emperor's all-knowingness, it's like, okay, 9 hours, just fucking hold down the fort. I got a
Also,
feeling.
how did a random line soldier's walkie talkie pick up Gilliman's message and not like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a giant fucking antenna somewhere
Bad Bastion,
At
anywhere
a
in the
very
Imperial
central
Palace.
location for all communications that should have, could have picked it up. And like they try to explain it, like, oh, Horus let it happen as soon as they go. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the bullshit excuse you're gonna give right now?
In 9 hours, we really have to think about. I wonder what Gilliman means by 9 hours, because like that could mean anything. 9 hours out of the Soul System, or 9 hours away from Terra. Because if he's 9 hours away from Terra,
He's
then
in the system.
he's in the system.
He's
He's out
wreaking
the door.
havoc on them behind him.
Yeah, 9 hours. It's like you've picked up the phalanx and
Yeah.
you're on your way.
9 hours, you're like around the moon,
That's
probably.
probably not even going to be addressed.
No.
It's just going to be like he's there with the phalanx 9 hours from now. I'm like, that's real space. Like, not, that's crazy. That's like you said, like the moon.
Yeah. He's there. Literally there. Makes no fucking sense.
Oh,
Like say your day's out. Don't give me a 9 hours bullshit because that means the next two books happens in less than 9 hours.
which is miserable as a
Yeah.
concept. Like you were literally writing 100 pages an hour. Like you could literally detail out every step that a person is taking over 9 hours and not arrive at the amount of pages that are left in this book, the series.
I am convinced that's what Dan Advent does. It
And that's
introduces new characters and go through their steps too. And that's why it's so fucking long.
the perpetual storyline. I don't know if you've arrived to this.
I haven't seen them in a while.
We essentially get Dan's final. We get like what they're trying to accomplish, what they're trying to achieve. And there's no like reasoning for it. It just kind of seems like what happened was no one knew. And Dan got stuck with the last book. He's like, oh, I have to find a reasoning.
Well, Dan
So,
introduced them.
yeah, exactly. So we get told that all is there to try and kill the Emperor. That's what he wants to do now. That's his plan. Has not been
Why?
clear at all. And we still
No,
don't really
it
know
actually makes
why.
less sense why he would want to do that.
I
He
agree.
doesn't like chaos.
And the girl, the blind chick, Acacia or whatever her name
Sure.
is, she's there in case all fails. She's going to kill Horus.
Okay.
Exactly. Like, I don't even care at this point because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the scene where Sanguinius goes to ask the Emperor to join the Vengeful Spirit Brigade? And the entire time, the Emperor is like half talking to Sanguinius and half talking through his custodians.
Which makes
For
no. When the fuck did he start doing that?
never. I've never seen that. For some reason, it was a decision was like, wouldn't it be cooler if like
I
the
didn't.
custodians talked for the Emperor sometimes in a conversation? I'm not even saying like it's like, oh, custodian, you answer this question. It's like the Emperor answers half of it, and then a custodian like picks it up, and then Sanguinius is just like talking to all of them.
Yeah,
It's
I
really fucking
hated that.
annoying.
It's super annoyed, and it makes no fucking sense. Like, why is this a thing? Let the man speak for himself. His whole thing was like, I promised Malgador I would answer any of your questions. Why the fuck is this custodian talking to me?
This new custodian, who, by the way, we've never seen before,
Shocker.
not Valdor, not Diamocles or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I can't remember this dude's name.
Don't even know.
I think it starts with a C.
Yeah. We also get the story of everything else. Like, I don't even, this is what's so crazy is like what we just described to you is literally the second third of the book. That's it. Everything else about this book is random is useless, doesn't achieve anything, but it's like 90% of the pages. We get point of views from an absurd amount of people we've never met that are saying nothing. We get point of views of Fafnir Rand just fighting people. At one point, he fights a word bearer that was resurrected from the dead, and then he kills him, and then we get told that, oh, he will get resurrected from the dead again. I'm like, that's great. I'm so glad that
Yeah, like this guy like rejected being in a dreadnought, but came back like super like mechanized. Just like, what the fuck is happening?
yeah,
Like
as if like,
Abaddon apparently killed a guy and he thought it was Fafnir, and he's like takes off his helmet and is like, that ain't Fafnir. You fought well. I thought it was Fafnir.
there was
Why
a
was
whole
this a conversation?
page and a half of the book. I'm like, why? Yeah, like who gives a shit?
Either it was Fafnir or it wasn't. We finally get a mention of Sigismund, and it's
And
like,
all it is like we don't know where he's at.
yeah, he's probably with the other guys. He was never mentioned. You would think the Emperor's Chosen or whatever, with this big old sexy black sword, would be ready to fucking kill some traitorous bastards, and he's just Dan's like, I don't want to write about that.
That's not in
I'm
my.
gonna write about Fafnir Rand. Like that's fine if you like Fafnir, but what about Sigismund, his fucking captain?
And again, I'm gonna say like the most annoying. This is what kills me more than anything. Is it's like I've this frustrates the shit out of me. Where Dan writes this concept that like the warp is so influencing on Terra that time and space no longer exist unless he wants it to at that moment. But
Yeah.
every other thing, it's like frustrating. It's like, oh, Sigismund is or Gilliman is 9 hours out. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing because time is a construct and who knows how long that actually takes. We could be here for eternity. Great.
Can we talk about this trap that's not a trap, but it's actually like a really good trap, but it's not a trap? What the fuck was that? Like that was like 30 pages of
It
this
was
isn't
so
a trap, but it's like it's so not a trap that it's a trap, but it's actually a trap. I'm like reading, I'm like, this is just a trap. Why are you saying it's not? I don't understand.
so like there's this whole thing. Oh, there's so many parts of this. Like where Dan gets like way too deep on things that don't need to be deep. And this is one of them where like they arrive and then for some reason I have no idea like what actually happened. But like Horace like mind controls the custodians to
Very
try.
random. You would think that I don't know, the Emperor in all his fucking glory would not allow that to happen. I don't know. No, no, it was pre-programmed into them or some bullshit.
That's what he kept saying, and that makes
Yeah,
no
what does
sense.
that mean?
It was completely nonsensical. And then it was like, how did he know to use us against him? And I'm like, well, if I had that option, I probably would too. It's just a button that I can click, and all of a sudden you start fighting each other. Like, yeah, this is war. That's a
Yeah,
great.
like you were born with this beeper. And if I just play like the right frequency, you just try to kill the Emperor. It's really weird that he built that in there.
And the whole time the custodian's like, what a fucking genius. I never would have thought to click that button. I never would have thought that.
I can't believe this trap. This I didn't think it was gonna be a trap. Like I kind of thought it was gonna be a trap, and then I got here and I didn't think it was a trap, but it was a fucking trap.
But like there was no one there, and the real trap was the Emperor's pride.
What the fuck that
What does that mean, dude? It kind of seems like it was a trap. I don't know. Like you guys had a mind control button, and then you get on the visual spirit and he clicks it. Like that seems like a pretty straightforward trap to me.
Yeah, and the Emperor just kills like 7 custodes. He's just like, all
Yeah,
right.
it's so funny because the Emperor like slaughters some custodians and then like mentally hurts a bunch of them so they get over Horus. He like basically like does his I don't know.
I
You're
just
mine
changed the.
now.
I hit the other button. The don't kill me button.
The switch button. I switch it back. I click the switch. It's mine now. But then he had to kill more of them because they couldn't like get out of the trance. And then, and then Emperor like I don't know, sends like some sort of signal to Horus, and he's like, "Yeah, that's who you're fucking with." And if I'm Horus, I'm like, "Dude, that was great. You just killed like 20 fucking custodians. That's phenomenal. What do you mean? Like, why are you bragging right now? You lost. I lost 0 people.
Yeah.
It was a complete win. You have a whole ship to fucking conquer, man." The Emperor's like, he does the, "Yeah, and I'm fucking coming for you next, buddy."
And then you get Constantine, who just kills like 30 people, and is like, I just killed 30 people in 17 seconds. I'm just like, oh, okay.
And then he like it was so funny too, because like he like stabs like his spear gives him knowledge.
Well, at first he has a sword, and then he has a spear.
Yeah.
So I don't know
So
if Dan fucked that up.
well, he throws the sword away and then grabs the spear and starts killing things, and it gives him knowledge of like the demons' names.
Yeah, and he's
And
just
like
he's
it,
killing him. He's like, you're Betsy.
it's exactly
Billy
so
Bob.
like, and I'll remember that name. So if I ever see you again, Betsy, I'm gonna fuck you
I
up.
will fuck you up so hard.
Because I know your name, Betsy. I got your fucking
I'm
digits.
gonna milk those udders like you've never fucking been milked before, you stupid bitch.
But like also demons like don't really have a physical form and they can probably change it whenever they want. So I don't know how he would remember that that demon was Betsy.
Betsy, it's you, you stupid bitch. I remember you.
I fucking remember you.
He's old as fuck. Has a cane, just like limping around. It's that fucking Betsy bitch again.
Betsy's over there like I'm honestly just incredibly impressed. He remembered me.
My name's never been Betsy. It's Bethany.
It's not even my name. My favorite
I've
part
been
about
making
that.
him think it's had power this whole fucking time. This jazz is a dumbass.
No, my favorite part about it is he's like killing these demons and getting their names when he kills them. And then he has this thing where he's like, "Where am I? Did we even make it to the vengeful spirit? I can't see anybody. How do I know where I am?" And then he stabs the ground, and then he hears in his mind, "Vengeful spirit." As if like his spear is like some sort of like detector. He could just go like stab a steak. Steak. Oh. Like Valor doesn't greet
He
you.
just goes to
He
planets.
gently stabs you.
Terra. Oh, thank fucking God.
I have no idea. It's like a GPS detector.
Mars, son of a bitch.
This is not he doesn't greet you. He doesn't shake your hand. He just gently stabs you.
He stabs
John.
you in the foot.
John. Hi, John.
Dude, what the fuck?
Come on, man. Like why why did this fucking spear become like a GPS location detector? That was so he stabbed vengeful
It has a
spirit.
name, dumbass. Of course, he learned the knowledge from stabbing it.
He stabs anything. He doesn't read books. He stabs the books and then he knows everything in the books. Oh my gosh.
I wish
That
we
gets
could do
me
that.
jealous.
It would save us so much fucking time.
I
My
I'd
life has
stab
been
the shit
wasted.
out of these books. Vengeful spirit.
Also, it talks about how, this teleportation stuff isn't the best thing ever. Like, you have a fucking custode that's like missing his entire torso. And it's like, why don't we ever get more of that? You know? You just
Yeah.
sent like, what, like 1,000 people to the vengeful spirit. We don't know where Dorn is. We don't know where Sigismund is, but we know this one guy is a torso, and Constantine knows the ship, and the Emperor killed everyone else, apparently.
hmm I love the fucking. That's probably my favorite part so far is the spear. Vengeful spirit. I want to imagine that like it actually says it out loud like a detector, and it's like an AI. vengeful spirit. Betsy. That's a great power, Valdor.
God damn it. Then the Emperor made him that, or gave him that. Thank God. And so he never gets fucking lost. Turns out he had really bad direction, so that's why the Emperor gave it to him instead of instead of giving it to Lehman.
It's so funny because like Valdor literally ponders that. He's like, why did the Emperor give this to me? Was it because
I don't know where the fuck I
it,
am.
it was a gift to keep me on his side? No. Perhaps a bargaining chip. And the Emperor's like, that dude just got lost all the fucking time.
It's easier than a compass for you
It's
because you can't fucking read.
he just wants to stab shit. So I thought, hey, what if I invented a spear that told you where you were when you stabbed something? You can't fucking read. Oh gosh. That was a great one. That was a phenomenal little moment there. Apparently Bosil Flo gets killed or supposedly gets killed. We don't see it on screen, you could say.
Yeah. You have this one group of humans who were prisoners that broke out, I guess. I mean, I don't know, like they probably could just walked out. I guess they're probably technically breakouts. And then they like made their own regime and they joined another one with that one chick from Garo?
You afraid of Keeler?
No, no, no. Well, the lady that talked to Keeler. Like that captain chick.
The what chick? Who?
The fucking soldier chick.
Oh, do you mean the girl from Mar?
Maybe?
Is it Mar, the girl that was like the policewoman in Saturnine?
I don't
Who was
know. She's the one that has a fucked up face now.
there is one other girl that Keeler's teamed up with who is like a remembrancer.
No, this isn't her remembrance. This chick is Astra Militarum. She's like a captain. I'm pretty sure it was the chick that was from Garo that Keeler like ran into, but like she's not with Keeler anymore. Like she's leading a group.
Every once in a while, we get like a little snippet of Loken saying, "Where am I?
Where's Keeler?
Where the fuck?" If only he had Valdor's spear.
Just start stabbing shit, dude.
Where am I? Like he lit all the time. Like the first time we see him, he's like, "Am I? Am I at Bad Bastion?" And the dude looks at him like, "Are you fucking idiot, man? Bad Bastion's like 400
Bro, this
miles."
is Jupiter.
What the hell is going on? I blacked out for like a solid like 4 days. I need to stop drinking.
I don't blame him for drinking. He's in a shitty spot, and Dan doesn't know what to do with him, so he's just like, let's just put him all over the place. Let's not join the group that's gonna go fight Horus. That makes sense. He's gonna just chase Keeler's coattails for some reason.
So if we follow back this story, let's go back to Warhawk. Okay.
Oh,
In
Warcock.
Warhawk, in Warhawk, Loken is looking for Keeler
Yep.
and he finds her in an underground temple made of skulls.
Yep.
Kind of weird. And then in Echoes of Eternity, we literally don't see them at all. And the entire palace gets overran up until the Mercury Wall. And now, in the end of the Death Volume 1, screw all that. There's still people walking around all over the place. Like, half the place is okay, half of it's not. Like, who fucking knows? It's like all up in the air now. People are fighting randomly.
Yep.
Sure, whatever. But Loken has disappeared from Keeler again. And now he's looking for Keeler. I'm like, well,
Okay.
what was the entire fucking point of all the chapters we got in Warhawk of Woken looking for Keeler, if at the beginning of your book, the next time we see him, he's just going to lose Keeler and try and find her again.
I am very much convinced that Dan didn't read anyone's books in the Siege of Terra. It's the only thing that makes sense. I think like
He's like, this
he
shit
might have been
sucks.
told by ADB that it's like, hey, the gate closed, and that's the only thing he's used from anyone else's books is like, hey, oh yeah, that gate is closed.
You think Nick Kime like emailed him 17 times? Vulcan is on Terra. Right about Vulcan.
We do get Vulcan.
We get Vulcan. We get a decent amount of Vulcan, and he's cool as shit.
Yeah, yeah, he's just standing there.
Yeah. We have one of the two salamanders.
Mm-hmm.
We get mentions of like other salamanders though, and like and this is in like the massive amount of fluff. There's some salamanders that are there. I don't know. I've never seen them be mentioned. There's some there's a Iron Hands that die pretty early on, I think.
Yeah.
There's I think it talks about the one Space Wolf guy that's there, Brevarki.
Yes, I think so.
We get those conversations. But I want to know what happened to the skulls that Keeler was worshiping. What happened to that? Did we drop
Well,
that?
Dan didn't read it, so he doesn't know.
There's no skulls anymore. Keeler
It's
doesn't
like,
care
what the
about.
fuck is a skull?
She was like, I went through a weird phase in Warcock. Everyone was into weird shit then. But I'm past that now, and now I have an overwhelming urge to walk north.
And I have a bunch of fucking people with me.
Yeah.
And then you have Cinderman's story, who breaks into a fucking library. He's like, yeah, I'm here to read books. And then there's like a librarian there. He's like, you're not allowed to do that. And he's like, look, I'm gonna read books. Like, I got nothing else to do. All right, you got nothing else to do. Just fucking read some books.
You're not allowed to do that. There's like bombs dropping outside. They're like, "Are you the only person here?" She's like, "Yeah, I stayed on my post, but you can't read any books." It's like, I can kill you right now and read all the books that I want to. They find the Bible.
Yeah,
Maori's part of the Bible. I'm like,
yeah. And she's
oh,
like, is this a spell? He's like, I don't know, maybe. What is happening?
I don't fucking know. I'm fucking along for the ride. I've been drinking too much.
Look, I'm too old to fight, and well, I'm here. Dorn told me to find the words, so I'm looking for the word. Is he trying to find the fucking words that what's his face knows?
John,
Yeah. Is he gonna find the fucking scroll of Babylon?
the Scroll of Babylon. He's looking for the Rosetta Stone, Dylan.
Honestly, maybe.
The Rosetta Stone's gonna come back. It's gonna play a big role. You
And
didn't
it's
know.
gonna be I told you Rosetta Stone's cool.
You didn't know. We had a whole story about it, and the Rosetta Stone's coming back. There's also this really weird moment or plot line that they're trying to develop where like there's Malcador's chosen.
Yeah. Oh, they talked about Titan being hidden. It was a very off thing to say. And he's like, oh yeah, some of our like psychers aren't here because they Titan is hidden. I was like, okay. From my understanding is Macador threw that shit into the warp. But
That's
okay.
what, that's all you get. Malcador is like getting visions that everything's about to fail, and it's like cool. I don't know, like
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
if you waited 9 hours.
yeah, like the Emperor clearly went into a very obvious trap. And like it's amazing to me that the Emperor and all the custodians were like, Dorn was like, this is stupid, it's a trap. And the Emperor and the custodians were like, yeah, we know, but we're just simply we'll absorb the blow with our plot armor. At one point in time, Sanguinius talks to the Emperor about why we suffer.
Yeah, and he's like, because you have to be human. Because if you're robots, you do dumb shit.
It was another reason why, another example, I think, of Dan Abnett getting way too deep for no reason. Like I don't even think that that was like a plot or like a mantra of the series of like is like human suffering. I mean, obviously the humans in Warhammer do suffer, but I
Oh,
just
we
think it's
suffer.
weird
We're
that
just reading.
where the readers are suffering. I'm just curious as to why, like, all the questions Sanguinius could have asked. Why do we suffer? I think that's a weird question to ask. I feel like he should have been like, "What am I?"
Why do I have fucking wings, dude?
Yeah, like Sanguinius has been struggling forever with his identity because of the blood rage, because of his wings, because of what he's called. And his question is, why do we suffer? I think that's a weird one.
Yeah, and just stupid.
And the answer is like to be human, which is like okay, I guess, you know. I wouldn't call it
Sure.
profound. I don't think like this is I don't feel like I'm enlightened by philosophy.
Yeah. It especially since you also have like the custodes who are less emotional. And it's I didn't know Constantine came before the Primarchs either. This was
Most of
mentioned
the
in this book.
most of the custodians did. Most of them did. Most
Which
of the custodians came, and we saw that in Master of Mankind. They came during the Unification Wars, which was before the Primarch Project.
I just think that's at that point, I would just been more of them.
I know, why were we even making Space Marines when you could make custodians? I don't understand it.
Yeah. It would have been easier.
And they're better,
Yeah.
like,
That's what they
unless
say.
you're a Naked World Eater, because those guys just fuck up
Those guys
custodians.
can fucking punch. They fucking punch hard. All right. They will rip out your goddamn guts.
I'm imagining that the Emperor decided that he needed to make Space Marines because custodians had that very fatal flaw of the switch. If you played the right frequency, that
Yeah,
they'd
they'll just
all of
like
a
randomly try
sudden
to kill me. It's weird.
they don't know what's going on. But if you click this button behind their ear, they get really violent. It's a bit of a defect. We'll move past it for now.
Yeah. What else has happened in this third? Like nothing has been accomplished. Like, yeah, some of them went to the vengeful spirit, I guess, but there was no reason for it. They I don't understand how it's gonna be dragged. Like the maybe Sanguinius lands on fucking Jupiter and he has to fucking fly his ass to the vengeful spirit, and that's most of the next book. And then he's fucking tired from flying, and then he has to fight Horus.
So much of this book is just like point of views from either random people or people we have literally never met, and them just like thinking about things, just thinking about random things, life and the way things are. And every single time I pick up the fucking book and I read that the chapter is called Fragments, it's the most miserable thing in the world because literally nothing is happening and it's just people like random people just doing random things. And I guess Dan's idea behind that is like, well, we want to get like a holistic idea of everything that's going on. I'm like, yeah, maybe if you would ever hold yourself to any sentence that you write, but we literally just read about how the Eternity Gate got overran and everything that you're writing about was happening on the Palatine. So I don't really know. I don't know how you can justify wanting to cling to the truth of like everything that's going on when we're ignoring like really big moments that have been
Right.
solidified in previous books.
I just this whole thing so far is just like Dan doesn't respect the other writers.
Yeah, and I feel like I really want to ask like whether or not it was his decision to write 3 books. 'Cause that's just it's rough. Like you could have written in this book alone. Like he proved it because the entire story gets progressed so far in about 50 pages of the 450 I've read, and they're already on the Vengeful Spirit.
Yep.
Would literally throw away 400 of the 450 pages that
Yeah.
I've
I
read.
mean, I'm on page 400, and they're on the vengeful spirit. There are 2 books left. 2 full books. The next book is bigger than this book. How is
I'm
that
hoping
fucking possible?
I'm hoping the third one's like really thin.
I it's not gonna be. You know it's not gonna be. It's gonna be bigger somehow. It's gonna be fucking like 800-page book, and we're both gonna sit here on fucking part 5 of the book. And we're just like, why is this still a thing?
This is
The
what
Emperor's
the
been
Heresy
dead for
Lodge.
fucking 700 pages, and we're still going.
This is what the Heresy Lodge will be for the next 2 months.
Depression.
So much sadness. Why did they choose to end it this way? This is worse than the ending of Game of Thrones. And I hated the ending to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, because at least Game of Thrones ended in 7 episodes. This is just getting dragged out.
They went shorter.
Yeah. Instead, I'm getting fucking 16-hour audiobooks. I'm just like, fuck.
Jeez, that's so many audiobooks. That's so many audiobooks. Yeah. And you get what kills me is like the chapter length of these books. I've read chapters that are a paragraph long.
Yep.
That's a paragraph, not a chapter.
Yep. It this whole thing's just a wreck. Like I don't from the writing style to the writing to the story to hell. They're fucking releasing a whole book of just art. And I'm just like, why at this point?
One thing that really worries me is we haven't seen Sigismund, but Sigismund has a Horus Heresy book.
Yeah, has a Primarch book.
And I'm worried that like we just won't get any Sigismund POV and
And
it'll end
that's
up
how we're at the
being like,
fucking at the end of
yeah,
it.
it'll be like, oh, well, if you want to hear Sigismund's part of the story, like, yes, you could have burnt 1,200 pages out of the story and achieved the same thing, but Sigismund's book, you need to purchase another 250-page book.
I don't think it's that long. I think it's like 150 pages.
But still, regardless, you could literally put the 150 pages into the fluff of this book and you
Yeah, I
barely
would take out most of this book, and I would rather read that.
exactly. So I'm curious as to like, I hope that isn't what happens because there's also a book about Valdor, which is strange to me because Valdor is kind of a character here, but I will say Valdor hasn't been a character for most of the siege. So I wonder if that's what his book is about. I'm really worried that a lot of these like little side books about Valdor and about Sigismund are in the siege, the setting of the siege, because it's like, why would you do this? Because it just kind of makes it a short story, but then they decided to not make it a short story. They decided to make it a Primarch book because it's about an individual, which is kind of weird because why didn't they just do that with Garo? Blech.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fucking shit, a lot of spewing of ridiculousness.
Yeah. And it just sucks because it started off so good.
The What, the siege
The
or the horse?
heresy.
The
Yeah, the
heresy did
heresy
start off
started good.
great. Dude, man,
Now we're at the end of the siege. It's just like, god damn.
I still remember False Gods and the scene with Horus in the warp. It's just so fucking cool.
Yeah, that was
So fucking.
great. Yeah, the whole fucking book of Fulgrim was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Legion.
we're here, and it's just like I'm fucking like crying blood because my eyes hurt so bad.
And you want to kill the Emperor for some reason.
Goddamn Switch.
It's really frustrating at this point because like we know the ending. But if we didn't know the ending, I'd be like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for this podcast, I don't think I would have gotten this far.
Like I would literally sit there and be like, if Horus wins or the Emperor wins, I would have no emotion difference. It would not.
At this point, I'm pretty sure Loken wins, and he becomes the Emperor.
That'd be great. I'd be okay with that story too. I don't care. I don't care. That's what's so sad. Like I don't care about the sides. I don't care about right or wrong. I don't care what people are thinking because it's been said so many times. It's like blah. It's just blah.
Yeah, blah, indeed. And I have like a whole another 200 pages left. You have like what 150 left?
No, no. It's a 650-page book.
Oh, so I have like 250 left. You have like 200.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then we have two more books, Kevin. Two full books. I mean, the next book is like 700 pages.
Yep. Yep. It'll be rough.
Yeah. But hey, guys, that is part 2 of volume 1 of The End and the Death. Next week, we'll finish The End of the Death, part 1. And then we'll start End and the Death, part 2. and we'll have a preview. I don't even know if we need to even preview. Maybe we just start at part 1 and just do 5 parts. I don't know. I don't even know if a preview is even worth anymore because there's nothing to preview because this book's dog shit.
I think we just kind of do 150 to 200 pages at a time from here on out.
That's all we can do mentally.
Yeah. 200 pages a week. I mean, it's still a decent amount of pages. That's like what, 40 pages a day?
Yeah, it's a decent amount. But hey, that's it, guys. We'll be back next week with the final. Um, I'm pretty sure this one is technically considered our 3 years of podcasting. Go
No.
us.
We this is the 3 years.
This
We'll
is
be doing a
3 years.
special probably next week is a special.
Probably after next week.
Like a New Year's year in
Yeah,
review.
we'll do like a year in review. We'll talk, give ourselves a mental reset before we go back to the noose.
And in the Death Volume 2,
Yeah,
part 2.
yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, that's it for us, guys. You have a good one. We'll be back next week.